Life is a mystery that unfolds not when you plan every step, but when you dare to step into the unknown. Every great journey begins not with certainty, but with trust, the trust that the next step, though unseen, carries you forward. The mind may demand proof, the heart may hesitate, yet the universe always moves in rhythm with those who are willing to trust the invisible path. Today, we explore what it means to walk boldly. Even when the destination is hidden, life's essence reveals itself not through certainty, but through daring to move where the path is invisible. Growth begins the moment you release your grip on the familiar and the comfortable, allowing yourself to step into the unknown with awareness. The mind resists what it cannot measure, yet life unfolds most vividly when you surrender the need to control every detail. Each moment of uncertainty holds a possibility that cannot be grasped by logic, and only by leaning into it can you discover the deeper layers of your existence. Trust is the silent force that carries you forward when vision fails. It is not a passive hope, but an active commitment to move with courage despite the absence of guarantees. When you let trust guide your steps, obstacles transform into lessons and fear becomes a signal to proceed, not a barrier. Life's intelligence often speaks in whispers, through intuition and subtle signs, and following them requires faith in what cannot yet be seen. Every step taken in trust reinforces the understanding that surrendering control is not weakness, but a powerful alignment with the flow of life. Courage arises not from comfort, but from embracing discomfort with openness. Every step into the unseen demands that you confront fear and doubt without yielding. Growth is forged in the tension between what you know and what you cannot see. And stepping forward despite this tension strengthens the spirit. The path that appears uncertain holds hidden opportunities, and only those willing to move without certainty can access the transformative power that lies beyond fear. The unseen path also teaches the value of detachment from outcomes. Clinging to specific results limits your experience and obscures the lessons embedded in each moment. Life operates in timing far beyond human understanding, and learning to move without demanding immediate proof or reward allows each step to unfold in its own rhythm. The act of moving forward, regardless of the visible outcome, cultivates resilience and shapes a deeper, wiser version of yourself. Every step into the unknown is an invitation to transformation. What lies ahead may be hidden, but it carries the potential to expand your consciousness and deepen your presence in the world. Trusting the unseen is not surrendering your life to chance, but opening yourself to the vast possibilities that cannot be reached through caution alone. With each step taken in faith, you move closer to a life lived fully, where growth, freedom, and wisdom emerge naturally from the willingness to trust without seeing. Trust is not a passive act of waiting or hoping. It is a deliberate and courageous choice to move forward even when certainty is absent. It demands that you let go of the illusions of control and the need to foresee every outcome. Trust does not depend on guarantees or visible proof. It depends on the willingness to act with clarity of intention and strength of purpose. Every step taken in trust is an assertion that life is larger than fear and that your capacity to navigate the unknown is greater than any obstacle you imagine. To trust fully is to embrace vulnerability without hesitation. It requires confronting the anxiety of uncertainty and choosing to move anyway, knowing that hesitation itself is a form of resistance. Trust is forged in action in the moments when you step beyond what is comfortable and familiar. It does not demand that the path be clear or predictable, it asks only that your resolve be firm and your heart open to what may come. In this way, trust becomes both a shield and a compass, guiding you through circumstances that reason alone cannot resolve. trust grows stronger when it is exercised consistently. Each time you take a step without seeing the full path, you reinforce the understanding that life unfolds in ways beyond human calculation. The unseen step is never empty. It carries within it lessons, opportunities and energies that are invisible to the mind but palpable to the soul. By trusting in these hidden forces, you align yourself with the rhythm of life and learn to navigate complexity with poise, resilience and clarity. True trust also requires detachment from outcomes. It is not enough to step forward, you must release the insistence that the results conform to your expectations. Life does not unfold according to human timetables or desires, and surrendering to this truth is an act of strength, not weakness. Trust allows you to act decisively, yet remain unshaken by uncertainty, knowing that the process itself carries value and wisdom that may not yet be visible. Ultimately, trust transforms every unseen step into a doorway for growth. It empowers you to act from a place of inner strength, to move with intention despite doubt, and to discover resources within yourself that lie dormant until tested. Trust is the bridge between fear and freedom, between hesitation and action. By choosing to trust, you enter a state of alignment with life's greater intelligence, where every step, however unseen, becomes a conduit for transformation, insight and deeper understanding. Control is an illusion that keeps the mind restless and the heart confined. When you insist on seeing every detail, predicting every turn, and holding the outcomes in your hands, you block the natural flow of life. The need for control is born out of fear, yet fear itself is a shadow that dissipates when you act with clarity and presence. By surrendering this insistence, you allow the unknown to reveal its possibilities, and what once appeared as barriers can transform into pathways that were invisible before. Surrendering control does not mean inaction or weakness. It is a conscious decision to release the tight grip on life and trust in your own capacity to respond to what arises. The walls you perceive are often constructs of your mind, created by your insistence on certainty and safety. When these walls are loosened, doors appear, opportunities, insights and encounters that could not have been foreseen. This is the paradox of surrender. Letting go opens the space for more than you could have imagined. The act of releasing control sharpens your awareness. Instead of being consumed by what might happen, you become fully present to what is happening. Each step taken without rigid planning becomes a practice of discernment and adaptability. Life begins to feel less like a sequence to manage and more like a rhythm to move with, and in this rhythm, you discover clarity that control could never provide. When control is abandoned, trust naturally emerges. Trust in yourself, in the unfolding process, and in the intelligence of life itself. The unseen path becomes navigable because you are no longer resisting it. Each moment offers guidance if you are willing to perceive it, and what once required force and struggle now flows with ease. The space left by control is filled with responsiveness, intuition and freedom. Ultimately, surrendering the need for control transforms the way you engage with life. It turns obstacles into invitations, challenges into lessons, and uncertainty into possibility. By letting go of the illusion that you must hold everything in your hands, you open the door to experiences that are richer, deeper, and far more expansive than any plan could ever predict. Freedom, insight, and growth emerge naturally when control is released and trust takes its place. There is a subtle intelligence within you that surpasses logic and reasoning. It is not loud or demanding, yet it is precise, unwavering, and always present. When you learn to listen to this inner guidance, you begin to perceive paths that the mind cannot calculate and opportunities that the eyes cannot see. This intelligence speaks in silence, through intuition, instinct, and a deep sense of knowing that is often mistaken for mere feeling. To follow it is to align yourself with a force far greater than your conscious will. Inner guidance is accessed not through effort, but through stillness. The mind's constant chatter can drown it out, and the demands of life can make it seem distant. Yet, when you slow down, breathe, and attune yourself to the subtle currents within, clarity emerges. Decisions that once felt impossible become natural, and steps into uncertainty are taken with confidence. Listening to this guidance requires courage, because it often asks you to move against habit, expectation, or the familiar patterns that have always seemed safe. The wisdom of inner guidance is deeply practical. It does not offer abstract theory, but direct insight that can be acted upon. Even in moments of confusion or fear, this intelligence provides a compass, showing you what is essential and what can be released. Trusting it allows you to navigate the unseen with precision, and each choice guided by it becomes an anchor in the turbulence of life. The more consistently you respond to it, the stronger and clearer it becomes, shaping your actions and decisions with subtle power. Listening to your inner guidance requires detachment from external validation. It often contradicts conventional advice, social expectations, or even your own preconceived plans. Yet in yielding to it, you discover a level of freedom and alignment that no outside approval can provide. This intelligence is not concerned with outcomes or recognition. It is concerned only with truth, balance, and the unfolding of your own potential. Following it may feel uncomfortable at first, but discomfort is the signal that you are moving into territory where real growth occurs. The guidance within transforms uncertainty into direction. Each time you trust it, even in the absence of visible proof, you strengthen your capacity to navigate life with ease and clarity. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable reveal their lessons, and steps into the unknown become natural extensions of your being. By learning to listen deeply and act on this quiet intelligence, you unlock a life that is not dictated by fear or doubt, but directed by wisdom, presence, and an inner compass that never fails. Growth does not come from staying within the boundaries of comfort. Comfort lulls the mind into complacency and convinces the heart that safety is more important than possibility. True expansion begins when you face the unease of the unknown and step forward even when every instinct urges you to remain where it is familiar. Each act of courage pushes the limits of what you believe is possible, reshaping your capacity to handle uncertainty and adversity. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act despite it. Fear arises naturally whenever the outcome is uncertain, and it is strongest when the next step cannot be clearly seen. To move forward under these conditions demands an inner strength that is forged only through repeated practice, through stepping into situations that test resolve and resilience. Every time you choose courage over hesitation, the mind learns that fear is a guide, not a barrier, and the heart gains confidence in its own capacity to navigate the unknown. Discomfort is the gateway to transformation. When you resist the urge to retreat to safety, you enter a space where growth can occur. The unknown challenges your assumptions, exposes hidden weaknesses, and simultaneously awakens latent potential. It is in these moments of tension that you discover abilities you did not know existed, instincts you had ignored, and a depth of resolve that strengthens your character. Each step taken in discomfort is an investment in your evolution. Courage over comfort also shifts your perception of life itself. You begin to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to test and expand your inner strength. Each step into uncertainty becomes a rehearsal for the next, teaching patience, persistence, and trust in yourself. By embracing discomfort, You no longer wait for perfect conditions or visible guarantees, you act decisively, knowing that growth resides on the other side of fear. The practice of courage is cumulative. With every act of stepping forward despite discomfort, your capacity to trust yourself and the process of life grows stronger. Fear becomes a companion rather than a tyrant, and hesitation loses its grip. By choosing courage over comfort consistently, you cultivate an inner freedom that allows you to navigate uncertainty with clarity, resilience, and unwavering presence. Each courageous step is a declaration that your growth is more important than your temporary ease. Life moves in a rhythm that is often invisible to the untrained mind. It flows like a river, carrying everything along its current, yet most people struggle against it, attempting to force their own direction. Resistance creates friction, tension, and unnecessary struggle, while alignment allows each moment to unfold with ease and precision. To move with life's flow is not to surrender ambition or purpose, but to act in harmony with the natural timing of events, allowing energy to support your steps rather than oppose them. When you attune yourself to this rhythm, obstacles begin to reveal themselves as lessons or openings rather than barriers. What appears as resistance is often a guide, redirecting attention or energy toward what is most essential. Life's flow does not eliminate challenge, but it transforms challenge into opportunity when met with awareness and adaptability. By listening and responding instead of forcing, you convert struggle into momentum and unpredictability into clarity. Flow requires trust and patience. The current does not move according to human desire or timetable, and attempts to control it only create tension. Each step must be measured with attentiveness, and actions must be taken at the right moment, guided by intuition and observation. Those who align themselves with the natural rhythm of life discover that effort becomes lighter, decisions clearer, and outcomes more fulfilling, because movement is supported by forces greater than the individual will. Life's flow also teaches flexibility. Rigid plans and fixed expectations clash with the dynamic nature of reality, but those who can bend, adapt, and respond in alignment with unfolding events find ease where others struggle. Adaptability is not surrender, it is intelligence in action. By understanding the currents of life and adjusting with precision, you transform uncertainty into mastery and unpredictability into a partner rather than an enemy. Ultimately, aligning with the flow of life deepens your presence and sharpens your awareness. It reveals that every circumstance, whether pleasant or challenging, is an integral part of the greater movement. By moving with rather than against life, you unlock energy, insight, and opportunity that would remain hidden to those who insist on forcing their own path. The flow becomes both teacher and guide, showing that life advances most fully when met with attentiveness, trust, and alignment. Attachment to outcomes creates a prison around the mind and suffocates the spirit. When every action is weighed against expected results, the natural flow of effort and creativity is stifled. The moment you tie your peace and satisfaction to a specific end, you surrender freedom to circumstance and allow external events to dictate your inner state. True power lies in acting fully and intentionally, without letting the mind fixate on what may or may not happen. Detachment does not mean indifference or carelessness. It is a deliberate choice to invest your energy in the process rather than in imagined results. When you focus on the quality of your actions instead of obsessing over outcomes, each step becomes meaningful in itself. The mind becomes lighter, and the heart opens to possibility because it is no longer constrained by fear or expectation. Detachment allows you to engage with life fully, yet remain unshaken by the uncertainty that is inherent in every endeavor. Clinging to outcomes is a form of resistance that generates tension and anxiety. It creates invisible chains that limit creativity, spontaneity, and growth. Letting go of these chains does not reduce effort or commitment, instead it frees you to act with clarity, presence, and courage. Every choice made without attachment strengthens resilience, sharpens awareness, and cultivates a deeper trust in the unfolding process of life. Detachment transforms failure and success into learning and insight. When the focus is on results, failure becomes a source of shame and success a fleeting validation. By releasing attachment, both failure and success are experienced as information rather than judgment. This perspective allows you to move forward without being burdened by past outcomes, and each step becomes an opportunity to refine your skill, deepen your understanding, and expand your capacity for growth. Ultimately, detachment from outcomes is an act of empowerment. It places control where it truly belongs, within your focus, your effort, and your presence, rather than in the unpredictable and ever-changing external world. By acting with full intention and releasing obsession over results, you create a space for creativity, clarity, and freedom. Life becomes a journey of engagement and discovery, where each action contributes to your evolution without being bound by the weight of expectation. Understanding is born not in planning or theorizing, but in the act of doing. Knowledge gained through observation and thought alone is limited, confined to what the mind can imagine. True comprehension emerges when you engage directly with life, when you step into situations that challenge, test, and push you beyond familiar boundaries. Each action, no matter how small or uncertain, becomes a teacher, revealing subtleties and truths that cannot be conveyed by instruction or anticipation. Experience carries a depth that theory cannot replicate. When you attempt something, you confront the unexpected, encounter resistance, and witness the consequences firsthand. These moments create insight that no amount of preparation can produce. Every success, failure, and misstep holds a lesson demanding presence, reflection, and adaptation. Learning through action sharpens the senses and refines judgment in a way that abstract knowledge alone never can. Action transforms understanding into wisdom. It is one thing to know what to do in theory, and another to act decisively in the face of uncertainty. Each step taken without full visibility trains patience, discernment, and courage. The act of doing brings clarity to confusion, strengthens intuition, and builds the capacity to respond effectively when circumstances shift. Knowledge becomes alive only when it is tested in the crucible of real experience. Mistakes and challenges encountered during action are invaluable teachers. They reveal blind spots, weaknesses, and unexamined assumptions, forcing adaptation and growth. The lessons embedded in action are concrete, immediate, and undeniable, demanding engagement rather than passive observation. Each encounter with the unknown strengthens the ability to navigate complexity with confidence and poise. Ultimately, learning through action cultivates mastery over life itself. It dissolves the illusion that understanding can be attained solely through anticipation or theory. By embracing the process of doing, you open yourself to lessons that are living, dynamic, and transformative. Each uncertain step becomes a source of insight, equipping you to face future challenges with greater clarity, resilience, and depth. Life's timing cannot be rushed, and no amount of planning or insistence can force it to align with personal desire. Every event, encounter, and circumstance unfolds according to a rhythm far beyond human comprehension. What appears delayed or hidden is not absence or failure. It is the natural sequencing of forces that are always at work, orchestrating the right conditions for what is to come. To resist this timing is to create friction, frustration, and unnecessary suffering. Patience is not passive waiting but an active engagement with the present while trusting the unseen process. Each moment holds its own purpose and every delay carries a lesson, preparation or insight that cannot be skipped. By aligning yourself with the flow of timing rather than trying to impose your will upon it, you move with life instead of against it. This alignment allows opportunities to ripen fully and ensures that each step taken is supported by conditions that make success and growth possible. Faith in timing requires surrender without resignation. It is the understanding that the universe is never late and that the forces shaping your path are intelligent, precise and deliberate. What seems slow or invisible is often laying the groundwork for a breakthrough, a transformation or an awakening that could not have occurred if rushed. The unseen work of preparation ensures that when the moment arrives, it carries maximum impact and meaning. When you cultivate trust in timing, frustration and anxiety lose their grip. You learn to move forward with confidence even when results are not immediately visible. The mind, often impatient and restless, begins to recognize that every delay has purpose and the heart develops the capacity to remain steady, calm and receptive. This trust transforms uncertainty into a fertile space for growth, insight and opportunity. Ultimately, faith in timing transforms the way you live and act. Each event, no matter how hidden or delayed, is part of a larger design that supports your development, learning and evolution. By trusting that everything will unfold precisely when it is meant to, you free yourself from unnecessary struggle, cultivate resilience and engage with life fully, knowing that each step is guided by an invisible, perfect order. Every step into the unknown carries the seed of transformation, even when it cannot be seen or measured. Growth does not occur in comfort or certainty, but in the tension between what is familiar and what is yet to be discovered. Each action taken without guarantees stretches the boundaries of who you are, challenging old patterns, habits and assumptions. The unseen path tests your resilience and demands that you access inner resources that remain dormant until provoked by uncertainty. Transformation is not sudden or superficial, it is a process that unfolds gradually as you engage fully with life. Each choice, decision and step into the unknown shapes character, sharpens discernment and expands awareness. The moments that feel uncomfortable, uncertain or even fearful carry the deepest lessons. By moving forward despite doubt, you accumulate strength, insight and wisdom that cannot be gained through avoidance or hesitation. Trusting the next step requires courage because it asks you to move beyond the familiar and embrace possibility without sight. It is an invitation to release attachment to past identities and outdated beliefs, allowing a new version of yourself to emerge. Every unseen step becomes a mirror, reflecting both limitations and untapped potential. As you continue to walk without complete clarity, the very act of trust reshapes your perception of what is possible, expanding the scope of your being. Transformation also demands patience and presence. It cannot be forced or rushed and it does not follow a predictable timeline. Each step contributes to a larger unfolding and each encounter, challenge or moment of uncertainty plays a role in reshaping your consciousness. By remaining present and engaged with each step, you allow the process of transformation to penetrate deeply, altering not only what you do, but who you are at the core. Ultimately, transformation is the natural result of trusting the unseen path and moving with intention into the unknown. Each step taken in faith stretches the limits of identity, reshapes understanding and cultivates a resilience that is permanent and profound. By embracing the unseen and trusting the journey, you evolve continuously, becoming a version of yourself that could not have existed without the courage to step forward into uncertainty.